Hi, I'm Rosa Nazari, also known as Alvin Nazari, and I'm here to talk about how the Constitution plays a big role in my life. I'm 17 years old and I live in Santa Barbara, California. I was born in Santa Barbara, born and raised as a legal American citizen. But my parents, however, had come to this country back in the 1990s. Yeah, the 1990s, I'm pretty sure. They're not that old. So they came from like during the 1990s or the 1960s, I think. So yeah, they came like in the 1960s, 1990s. Like my mom came in the 1990s and my dad came like in the 1960s. So they came here to have like my dad, he came here to have a better education and to actually graduate from college because my parents had come from this old village country, Iran, which was known as Persia, but most Americans call it Iran. And most people stereotype us as, oh, the Muslim terrorists. But most of us, okay, yes, most of us in Iran are Muslim, but we aren't terrorists. And also, people look up to Iranians as a really bad, like, influence, like, oh, like, you're an Arab, or like, no, like, I honestly cannot tell you how much I don't like it when people compare Iranians to Arabs. We are completely different. We're not Pakistani, we're not this, we're not Indian. We are completely different. We are our own country. So basically my point is the role of Constitution that plays in my life and my family's life is the wanting the freedom to be treated equally as an American individual and not just shown as, oh, you're that Muslim or oh, you're that Iranian. Like, no, we are treated equally here. So,
the First Amendment I will be talking about today is the First Amendment, which is the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech. Basically, it gives you the freedom of anything. You can go to a rally. You can just stand up for your rights and do whatever you want without getting in trouble unless things get out of hand. For example, a story of my First Amendment situation would be the Trump rally that I had at my school. When Trump became president, there were a lot of people who did dislike that. So, basically what happened was, somebody at my school, I don't know who, people are still trying to figure out who organized it, but anyway.
We didn't do anything wrong because we were trying to just, mind our own business and get on our case going through this divorce system. And you know what he said? The attorney, my mom's attorney, an attorney. It makes no sense at all what I'm about to say, but he said, it's because you're Middle Eastern and I don't want to see you anymore. It's like, come on. Think about the amendment. Think about the amendment. Think about the 14th Amendment, people. It makes me mad to realize that people, like an attorney, he has to pay attention to the government. Like, they are the people that, like, go through this court system and everything like that, and, like, oh, they have to read, like, some amendments. Of course they do, obviously, and, like, he says that, like, that's kind of being hypocritical right there. Everybody is equal here no matter what. No matter if you come from China or if you come from Africa or Iran or India or wherever you come from, you are. And if anybody from those countries move to America and live there for a really long time, possibly 14 years maximum, then that's fine. And also, you should still, even if you've only stayed there for a year, you should still be treated equally as a regular American citizen should, because you are a person. So you shouldn't be racially discriminated or because of your religion, your race, or anything. And this still happens to this day. Like, do you see the amount of shootings that we've had so far? Like, the Brown v. Board education back in the day, where the blacks were racially segregated and weren't allowed to go to school just because they were black. And that still happens. People who are black or African American have gotten shot by the police. Like that Michael guy back then, who was accused of robbing a grocery store and being shot to death. It still amazes me how our society, our police officers, or anybody else don't look and pay attention to the 14th Amendment. We get as an American. My mom deserves to see an attorney. I deserve to go to school because I'm Middle Eastern. Like, the discrimination laws are stupid. So the way that this was resolved was that my attorney finally realized and actually looked and paid attention to the 14th Amendment, because you want to know why? Because I, as a 12-year-old during that time, because this was actually a really long time ago when my mom had an attorney, I knew about the amendments, well, at least about the important ones, because my dad, like I said, he's like really into the historical stuff, and he wants me to know about all these issues that are going on. And he says that amendments are really useful in our life, and they are. They are basically what we use in our daily lifestyle. And my dad was saying the 14th Amendment matters a lot to us because everybody is treated equally here, no matter where you're from in the United States, because we are the country of freedom, you know? So my attorney was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, he was being really, I don't know why my mom still had him after that, honestly, but he realized, and he was like, okay, well, that's my fault. So, and then he continued seeing my mom and wrote her an apology letter regarding to the racial discrimination that he had showed to my mom. So that's how it was resolved. So if anybody goes up to you and like judges your race or discriminates you, just say, hey, look at the 14th Amendment. I bet it has some really good information. Next, I'm going to talk about the 15th Amendment, the last and final amendment I'm going to be talking about today. This amendment really is a good amendment because this amendment allows us to vote either our race, religion, or ethnicity. Back in the day, when African American men were not able to vote, the 15th Amendment had been proposed and passed by the Supreme Court, allowing anybody to vote. This amendment is really important to me and my family and everybody else, I bet, in the whole entire United States of America, because besides our race, religion, and etc., we have the right to vote for our president because we live in the United States. We are American citizens, and you have to be at least an American citizen for 14 years, but just because you're from Mexico or you're from Iran, like my family is, doesn't mean you can't vote. You were raised in America, and you are technically an American citizen. Next, I'm going to be talking about the 4th Amendment. The 4th Amendment allows us to secure our rights and seizures. This amendment is really important because sometimes it's just not okay for a person to randomly go into your house and just go through your belongings. There are times, of course, when it is acceptable, such as schools. At my school, we have drug searches, which basically means a drug dog goes into the classroom, sniffs the backpacks, and has everybody go out of the classroom. And if a drug is there in somebody's backpack, he will bark. If not, then he'll just safely go out of the classroom. Which is pretty good because this provides safety for one, because one, it's not really safe or legal for a high school student to have drugs, especially inside of an education system. And also, it just keeps everybody safe. So that's acceptable. However, the thing that isn't acceptable is that back
in New Jersey, in a middle school, a girl got stripped all the way down by a police officer to wear underwear when they were having a search in a classroom. Now that is just really, that's a huge violation of privacy. Like, yes, you can strip a girl down and like just check her with like her body like this or something, but you can't just strip a girl to her underwear. Like, that's really humiliating for the girl and also for the person who stripped her down himself. Honestly, things with police are just getting out of hand. Like, this is insane, you know? The way they resolved this was using the Fourth Amendment, because this allows us to look back at the Fourth Amendment and say, hey, we have the right to be secure. And so this amendment helps a lot. And this amendment has been resolved by the Supreme Court while we were going through racial discrimination and religion discrimination, ethnicity discrimination regarding to vote, because there was a lot going back in the 1900s and 1800s of the government not letting people vote because they're black, because they're Mexican, or mostly it was originated from like, oh, you're black, you can't vote, because blacks were like the segregation laws didn't let them really do a lot of stuff, such as vote, go to the bathroom. So this is the time where I'm about to say goodbye, but thank you guys so much for watching and coming to my TED Talk. And if you are watching on YouTube, then thank you for watching. These amendments mean a lot to me, and they have helped us all the way back from the 1900s, the 1800s, all the way back till today. So I just want to say thank you to the Constitution, the preamble, and to you all who have dealt with the time of watching me. Thank you all, and I hope you have